So, Bud, you mentioned sources.
I maintain a few contacts in other Dunmer settlements across Tamriel. Most hail from House Redoran, but there are a few from other houses.
Why don't you ask them?
Most of my contacts live leagues away from Solstheim. Sending the occasional message back and forth is all we can manage, and sometimes takes months or more to arrive. However, any information we can glean in times like this, I consider vital to House Redoran's survival.
How are things as mines are open?
You might think it's all perfume and roses now that the mine's open. All I see is a new security problem on our hands. Making sure those shipments of ebony make it safely from the mine to the shipping docks is my new order of the day. And with Solstheim crawling with reavers and Azora knows what else, I can't risk any attacks on Ravenrock.
What can you tell me about House Hlaalus?
Traitors. The lot of them. Their collaboration with the Empire may have given them unrivaled political and economic strength, but their hearts weren't with the Dunmer people. Hlaalus deserved every bit of hatred they received once the Empire released its grasp on Morrowind. Having past ties to the Empire immediately turned them into the scapegoat for the Dunmer people's suffering. They had welcomed the Empire with open arms and benefited from it. When everything was said and done, they were no longer recognized as a great house and were dismissed from the Council. During the Oblivion Crisis, gates to the Plane of Oblivion opened all over Morrowind. The Empire pulled most of its forces out of Morrowind to deal with the gates in their own homeland, leaving us virtually defenseless. We had no standing army at the time, just uncoordinated pockets of resistance.
How'd you survive?
House Redoran took charge and was slowly able to build an army. It took years, but it became a force to be reckoned with. When the Argonians invaded years later, House Redoran's army was able to prevent them from sweeping across all of Morrowind. It would be fair to say that House Redoran literally saved the Dunmer people from destruction. Don't worry, you can trust Gelvis.
Alright. I'll trust you. I'll trust you that I can trust to trust Gelvis. Trust.
I work for Mogrul. You got a problem, you talk to him.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Welcome to the Retching Net's Corner Club, my lord. If you need anything, Master Gelvis will be happy to help you.
Okay. Hey.
You got a good thing going here now that you've reopened the mines. Don't let it go to waste. Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
Hey, bud.
Welcome to the Retching Net's Corner Club, home of the finest Sue Jammer that will ever grace your lips.
You have an unusual name here.
There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sue Jammer in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised.
Have any kinfolk?
Ah, but you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs.
Blacksmith as well.
As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle, and it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story.
How are things as mine are open?
How do you think? It's a blessing. I've got regular paying customers again. Thirsty workers at the end of the day, and more coin than I can count.
What's the specialty?
The finest who jam it across your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujama. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it.
I can help.
I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujama and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Hi, counselor.
If there's anything at all.
Try this.
What? Oh, no, thank you. I
The
need to
mine's
keep my
open,
head
people
clear.
are buying
Hey, bud.
drinks,
It's busier now that things are starting to look up. I guess Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding.
You've brought Raven Rock.
Thanks.
You look able to
East
venture
Empire
outside of
peasants
town.
scattered all
Perhaps
over.
you could help me recover something precious that was lost.
Here, try this.
Oh, how kind. Thank Geldis for me, won't you?
Need something?
You.
Your actions.
Try this.
Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. Next time you're hungry.
Where'd Glover go?
I always have plenty of food. Merkel doesn't let.
If you're dealing with me,
Hey, try this.
take that swill and pour it down a well.
Teldrin Cerro.
Okay, guess you can't.
We have
If
all
you have
sorts.
Try this.
Sorry,
I'm at your
Geldis won't allow me to drink while I'm working.
Now you'll
Safe travels.
Okay. Hi.
How about a drink for the hero who cleared Fort Frostmoth?
Said you might be able to help me.
Well, well. Adril's got himself a spy, does he? Ozura knows he needs all the help he can get.
Hi.
He's been chasing the Hlaalus for years now.
You think he's mistaken?
No. I just think he's going about this the wrong way. Actually, I do. If you want to catch those slippery slaughterfish, you need to let them come to you. There's an Hlaalus ancestral tomb near the temple. Someone's been leaving ash yam offerings on the altar inside. If you were to wait inside for whomever that is, I'm betting they'll have some of the answers you're looking for.
Why didn't you tell Adril?
What makes you think I haven't? Anytime Adril and the Wraithguard made a move, the Hlaalus must have been one step ahead and didn't show up. You can thank me if it works. Until then, I don't. Welcome
Oh wait,
to the retching net.
why did Counselor Morvan execute an Olin?
Back in '95, Vila Hlaalus came to Ravenrock with a plan to take over our town. But Fetcher thought he could stir up the locals and use them against the Wraithguard, and then murder Counselor Morvain when we weren't looking.
What?
He arrived alone, but spreading
Hi,
up
Rumarim.
around start changing people's minds. Half the bloody town joined his side. Can you believe that? He underestimated the Wraithguard. They were organized and brought a swift end to the coup. Vila tried to run, but he was caught by Captain Velith himself. Vila Hlaalus was executed a short time later, and his remains placed in the Hlaalus ancestral tomb.
Why do you leave ash yams?
When the Dunmer is laid to rest, the body is burned and returned to the ashen soil. Since the ash yam is born of the very same soil, it represents rebirth and renewal. The fact that life ends and begins anew. Watch yourself out there. Looks like an ash storm might be brewing.
How'd everybody already leave in, like, don't know, I guess it is midnight. Whatever. Hey.
He draws near.
Oh, yeah. That's why.
Master goals.
That'd be why. That'd do it. Who this? Hi.
Excuse me. I didn't realize there was anyone else here.
What are you doing?
I presume the same thing you're doing, leaving an offering for the departed. Forgive my surprise. It's just that I wouldn't expect that sort of behavior from someone who isn't Dunmer.
You aren't Ulan.
Since there aren't any Ulans left on this island, I've taken it upon myself to leave the traditional offering in their stead.
Well, you get to it.
Oh, no bother. We all have a right to be here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to meditate a bit.
Severin, more like the big gay TM. Okay, let's wait like 6 hours so I can easily distribute the alcoholic beverages across town. In the meantime. Hello.
Hey, watch it.
Hey, you, priest.
You may have...
Do you want to try this?
Get that vile liquid away.
Oh, okay. That vile liquid.
You honor the
Oh, I can't even give it to you.
This will not be long. Excuse me, but the temple is for followers.
You've brought Raven Rock back from the brink.
Can I just keep
Traveler.
doing this?
I don't... Oh, how kind. Thank Hlaalus for me, won't you?
Okay. You mentioned you lost something?
A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the
Hey, I know that
city
place.
to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived.
Was it aboard a ship?
Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Soltharn. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Wraithguard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers.
I'll see if I can get it.
Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. Your efforts in Raven Rock have proven most invigorating for my husband,
Who's your husband?
Admiral Arana,
Who we haven't met yet.
Counselor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn
Or am I thinking of the
fool
wrong
is gonna
person?
get
I don't
himself
know.
Killed over it someday. He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in
I'm not thinking of
harm's
Arana.
way.
I'm thinking of the other guy, whatever.
When I fall asleep at night, or like this island was never meant for us. There's too much death here.
Maybe you should return to Morrowind.
I assure you, if I could convince Admiral to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Admiral and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings.
You haven't told them?
I'm the wife of a second counselor, and certain things are expected of me. The most important thing is that I stand by Admiral no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock.
So where are you from originally?
Admiral and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals the root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold.
Sounds crazy.
I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain.
Oh well. Hey, Glover,
You got a good thing going here now that you...
try this.
Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip. Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage?
The answer is, of course, sex. I can't even sell you
Bring
anything.
your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up.
Hey, you want
I
some?
don't know who sent you here, but you've given... I should mix some of this into my next...
Can
Who knows what would happen?
I give you another
If you ever
one?
need
I
a
can.
bottle of supplies, talk to my
It's busy.
wife, milord.
Hlaalus needs to bottle this up and send
Next
it to
time
the
you're
mainland.
hungry, stop
I don't know
by.
why you can. I guess it's like every
My wife,
24
Always
hours.
a pleasure to taste anything Hlaalus comes up with.
I wish you could give it to the guards.
This may be the frontier, but you still...
I trust you're not planning any trouble.
Yeah, I was thinking of Morvain.
Traveling beyond the bulwark will be much safer as a result of your victory at Fort Frostmoth.
You want to try this?
Good old Geldis is always managing to keep our spirits up. And our eyesight hazy. Thank you.
How are things the mines have reopened?
With the mines open, Raven Rock has become a significant colony of the Dunmer people again. I've been able to convince my superiors at House Redoran to send me the resources that they've been denying, now that we're deemed more important. important. Soon, we'll have a steady supply of workers and materials to keep things going for years to come.
Tell me about House Redoran.
You've never heard of House Redoran? We're the mightiest of the great houses, and we lead the Council, the ruling body of Morrowind. This isn't Skyrim, Outlander. A group of powerful and influential Dunmer families have been ruling Morrowind for millennia. They embody a council made up of 5 great houses: Telvanni, Dres, Indoril, Sadras, and Redoran. Well, of course, with 4 other houses on the council, someone has to keep the rabble organized. Our house leads the council by virtue of our preeminence in battle, wisdom, and ancestral glory. Yes, I imagine it would to someone not of our people. If you're interested in pursuing the subject, help yourself to any of the historical volumes in my library. Solstheim is theoretically under my rule, but without revenue from the mine, I lack the resources to actually govern anything but Raven Rock itself. Not that there's much beyond the confines of our town anyway. Well, there's a small enclave of Nords to the north in Skarl village. They pretty much keep to themselves, and we both like it that way. Then there's Tel Mithrin to the east. The Telvanni live out there. Sort of a strange lot. But since we're both from Morrowind, we get along. Other than that, Solstheim is crawling with bandits and weaklings. But that's to be expected living in a frontier like this.
Hey, bud.
I hope Geldis proved useful. Have you made any progress?
Severin's the culprit.
Tell us, sir.
My doors are open.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Geldis' plan worked, eh? Every time we tried it, no one would ever show up. If Telesu's involved in any sort of plot to harm Councillor Morvain, I'm going to need hard evidence to prove it.
Or else you're gonna go search your house.
I'm not kicking down anyone's door until I have solid evidence in hand. If you're wrong about Telesu, things would quickly go downhill around here, and the real culprits might slip away. I can't afford for that to happen.
What if they try to stop me?
If you have evidence that it places your life in peril, I would expect you to do whatever you must to keep yourself alive. Here, this key should open the front door of the manor in case they've locked it. Good luck.
Can you tell me more about the Severin family?
Telesu is wife to the family patriarch Vendel. They have a single child, a daughter named Miri. They arrived here 10 years ago and have been nothing but a benefit to Raven Rock ever since. They're quite wealthy, and they've been quite generous by sharing their fortune with the community. They've contributed coin, food, supplies, even helped repair a few of the buildings in town with their own hands. People have mentioned it's a bit odd about how close in age Mary appears to be to her father, but that's hardly a cause for alarm. Just make sure you find solid evidence. If I accuse them without it, I'll be the laughing stock of the colony. Villa Ulen wasn't the first Ulen to live in Raven Rock. His father, Valen Ulen, was one of the first Dunmer to settle here. Unlike his son Villa, Valen was a good man. He contributed to the community and was quite respected. When Valen died, his family provided the funds to construct the tomb. The Ulen family being a part of House Hlaalus didn't matter. It's Dunmer's tradition. Valen Ulen and his son's remains were both laid to rest there, because that's what he
Raven
requested.
Rock back from the brink, traveler.
I don't know who else I can give the drinks to aside from Crucius, who might be in his house actually. Let's go check. Nope. Alright, let's go check the mine then.
With the Ashbourne threat taken care of, I can give my men the rest they deserve.
I can ask him a ton of questions apparently.
Your actions here have been
Thank
a
you for
blessing
your
to us
assistance.
I don't know what you did in those mines, but you put a smile on Creepy.
Gadris wants me to give drunk, get drunk.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Thank you.
How'd you meet Crucius?
To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner, All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories.
Oh, that's sad.
Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, a decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was after refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Counselor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love. Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there. In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othberloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the tribunal vary widely. Be careful out there.
Why?
Nope, I actually haven't. Liberal.
Just stoke the fire. Take a seat, get the cold out. Welcome to the wretched next
Did it.
Perfect. All that's left now is to go ahead and wait for the patrons to come in. As promised, here's a little something for yourself.
Thanks, dude. You're gonna, like, you people are making me rich. I don't know what you're talking to me about, like...
Need something?
I like how the random travelers from Skyrim Travelers, like, make their way to Solstheim. That's my favorite fun fact. Alright, let's go break down their house.
I think we...
Don't know about that.
Looks like that's the last of them.
It's...
Oh, Jesus. Ooh, an ebony dagger. I'll certainly take that. Do. Ooh, Shinin' Sujama. That's what I'm talking about. Can disenchant anything real quick? Nope. Oh, look, mannequins. Oh, look at all those bones. What's in here? Just random shit. Okay. Ancient letter. Oh, Wraithguard. Hey, finally found you, buddy. In addition to 10% resistance to all elements, you receive a 20% chance to reflect blow, 10 points of armor, and 50% disease resistance. You can also wield Sunder. Yay. The Ulan matter and an ancient letter. In a matter of days, I believe we'll be ready. Our forces within Ashfallow Citadel have been training, ready to strike. With Captain Val's discarded, the timing seems perfect. The next letter you'll receive from me will be his head in a sack. Cool. Ancient letter. Conditions here in Vardenfell are worsening by the moment. Red Mountain spews a nearly non-stop gout of ash and flame. Fear can't remain here much longer. I've done what I can. I have one vital artifact. I'm trusting you, Vendel. It's a relic that the great saint once held as a prize, and one that both saved and Dune Morrowind in the end, the Dormer Wraithguard. Kagranak, I entrust it to you. Keep it safe. And once House Hlaalus is once again in power, you can display it proudly. It is a relic of our legacy, dear friend. Let's look what it look. Let's see what it looks like on us. Oh, quite good.
Traditional Nord
Quite.
marriages are
Quite.
a sordid joke.
Really makes.
No wonder
Oh,
the children
wait, what?
turn out the way they do.
It's there, but. Oh, I think that was just a lighting issue. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was almost a lighting issue. Is it just like? Oh no, it's only from this particular side. Or is it just that hand? Hold on, let's see. Yeah, it's the right hand for whatever reason. Or maybe it's with the armor too. Let's take the armor off real quick. Might just not be compatible or whatever. No? Let's put it back on again and see what happens. Yeah, it's my hand. Well, boys, looks like we lost our hand. Once again, of course. Or maybe it's only intended to be used like when you have like Sunder, so like the right arm will actually appear then. That's what I'm guessing. I already have Sunder, it's in the museum. Also have Keening in there, so yay. Did you
Got a good thing going.
can I
Blades.
money? No.
Bring your weapons and armor.
Actually I can
I'll fix it up right.
real quick, let me get a I'm gonna do one of those. Might as well.
Can I help you?
You've brought Ravenrock
Did
back
you
from
find
the
I have
them?
evidence.
Then we finally have them. All that remains now is chasing them down and bringing them to justice.
I don't think they'll give up.
Good. I'm going to send two of the best Hlaalus we have to take them down. I want you to assist them any way you can.
Alright.
See that you do. We can't afford to let these traitors slip away.
Okay, where am I headed? Oh, literally like Africa. Alright. I guess Fort Frostmouth is the closest. Alright, next time we continue. Thank you all for watching.